What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing really good, man. It was really cool seeing you back in July when you beat me and my team pretty bad at the Kinetic Comps.
Yeah, that was a good time, man. I just talked to Craig today from Kinetic Comps. I was just hitting him up, but he put on an awesome match out there.
Yeah. Do you know if they're doing more here coming up?
I haven't heard anything. I think they were talking about doing something at Camp Atterbury, but I don't know if that was Craig exclusively. Um, but yeah, I hope they do something soon. For his first match, that was awesome. That was, I think, the best time I've ever had.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how does that compare to like other matches you've been to?
Well, I've done a handful of the Chaos Concepts matches, and Adam and Matt are awesome dudes, and love them. They put on an awesome match. I think they just you can't beat Idaho and Dave Mountain Ranch. It's just
Yeah.
super nice scenery is really all it is. Um, and then anything that Marathon attaches themselves to is always a blast too. That's
Yeah.
like my personal favorite, like shooting movers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I hit Marathon up after that comp and was just like, hey, I talked to one of your guys, what's it gonna cost to, have these things come out here? And I saw the number and
too much.
I was like, we'll save that for another time. We'll get make a
Yeah,
little bit more money before we start involving the movers.
yeah, dude. They're bananas, but they're the best mover out there.
Yeah, dude,
Uh,
you learn so much shooting those things.
yeah,
You
yeah.
learn a lot. Like I remember on one of the stages, on the second day with the movers,
Mm.
we were it was taking forever to get these movers down. And I'm not gonna throw my teammate under the bus and say why. If he's watching, he knows why. But that was like one of the times where I was like, man, I wish I had a freaking gas gun right now. It was one
Yeah,
of the first times. I mean, obviously, there's other times in the competition too where I was like, man, I wish I had a gas gun. But that was the one where I was like, I see like eight movers popping up and down, going at different speeds. If I had a gas gun here, like this would be quick work. But
yeah.
with a bolt gun and then a second bolt gun having issues, it was like, this is taking way too long, man.
That's the only time when you really get to shine if you have a gas gun because you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I can ka-choke, ka-choke, ka-choke,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
go to work on them.
That's
But
awesome, man.
otherwise, you're wishing you had a bolt. That
Yeah.
that match actually uh, was challenging for me because broke Alex's gun. So I was going there with a borrowed gun,
Yeah.
broke Alex's gun. Hopefully, he doesn't hate me for it anymore. Uh, and then Mullets Mountains America.
Yeah.
Zach, right?
Yeah, Zach.
Yeah, Zach, nicest dude on the planet, sees me
Yeah.
with like a broken gun, saves the day, and lets me borrow his 6.5 gasser, and got to still compete. So
Yeah, he's the coolest guy ever, and he's always got a spare gun somewhere in the back of his truck.
good friend to have.
Um, that gun that you broke, how heavy was that
Yeah,
gun? Because it was like full wood, right?
yeah, it's one of the Whoops chassis. They're unique looking. The gun shot great, but I'll
Yeah,
leave that. I'll give the glory to Zach Tannen from Misery Customs. Anything he touches turns to
yeah,
gold. So, um, but that chassis was all wood. I mean, it looks neat. But it's not very durable. And I didn't weigh it before. I think it was like 18 to 19 pounds. It wasn't super
okay,
crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, nice. I was shooting up yesterday up on my property and had my gun out there and just lugging that thing around, dude. I was like, I really want a lighter build than this. Like, I
Dude,
want something
it's,
sub 15 pounds because mine with everything on it, plus the triple pull and the weapons,
yeah.
like laser rangefinder, like all this stuff, I was pushing 20 pounds and it was just
Dude,
too
and
much.
my idea is that I would rather just suck more than
Yeah,
carry a heavy gun because I don't want to get bucked out. And
yeah, yeah,
so I'd rather just like I'm not going to be in better shape because I'm just been too lazy, but I'll probably just grind a little harder
yeah,
or
yeah.
maybe see the wizard a little bit. I'll carry a
Yeah.
heavy. Yeah. But you're talking about like that's like some NRL guns. That's a little light stick, dude.
Yeah, dude. I want to bring this kid on the podcast. He's here local to me, and he's just been he cleans every single NRL Hunter match he goes to. The
You
kid's
were telling me
insane.
about it. Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, he's got a
What's his
nice
name?
little setup too. But his name's Jackson Golightly. And the dude's, I mean, super cool, homeschooled and spends all of his time hunting and shooting. And
That's
he's super
awesome.
smart, really awesome kid. And Yeah, I mean, literally, I when I went to that one NRL Hunter match months ago, back in like I don't even remember, early in the spring. I mean, no one was
Yeah,
even close to him in the competition. So it was
that's
he
awesome.
just and that was a little bit of a weird match, and he kind of helped set it up. And I'm not saying that to like throw him under the bus. Like the
Oh,
kid shot freaking lights out. Like it was not even close.
he had a
But
little G2.
yeah, dude, he's a stud. I got one chance to train with him, and it was just a short time before I had to go to work. I only got to shoot for like an hour with him, but yeah, I mean, what a life to be living when you're like 15, 16 years old, where you just,
Yeah,
he's like sponsored by all these companies now, all these shooting companies, and like his
dang.
rifles, he's getting scopes, suppressors, all this stuff at that age. And then he goes and wins comps, and when he doesn't need the stuff, he just sells it and builds up his bank accounts. Like, dude, you're set for the rest of your life, like with the track you're going on at that
I'm
age.
jealous.
Yeah.
I just hope to God he doesn't like lose that fire.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
I'm
because
sure. I'm sure. I mean, I think his true heart's in the hunting. So this is
oh yeah,
just kind of the thing that he's like doing on the side and really is really good
yeah,
at. But um,
I get it.
well, hey, dude, I wanted to kind of start every podcast the same, which is just give us like a little bit of your background. You served in the military. Maybe tell us like what units you were in, uh, what your role was there, and what made you end up joining in the first place, and kind of where you're at now and how it all came to be. How did Hunter Scoggins come to be?
Okay. So I am from Eastern North Carolina. I did some normal big kid jobs before the Army. I worked for General Electric and I worked on windmills and stuff, and um, just decided I was pretty much bored. Um, had a sense of patriotism and wanted to join the Army. So I had a guy who I guess I'll call him a mentor. I kind of hate that word, but he was a third group Delta and hung out with this dude for a while, worked out with him, and wanted to try out his job. So I got an 18 X-ray contract. Met you in Benning. We did all the pipeline together,
Yeah.
and then I got assigned to Fifth Special Forces Group, same as you, and ended up at A15, which is their CRIF. And I spent first couple years there in assault. So I went to Spartak. I didn't really get many other schools. Uh, Other than that, did a deployment to Iraq, did a couple SUs or whatever, um, and then got moved over to Recce. Went to Civic Level 1, and really, I personally I love precision shooting, and that's where it started. Before that, honestly, I had not much experience with it, like especially Eastern North Carolina. I grew up
Yeah.
hunting, and like the furthest shot you'll take there is like 275 yards. Like it's just
Yeah.
covered up
Yeah.
in pine trees. So that wasn't really something I ever really did, but really loved it when I went to CIPSC. Came back and immediately started doing some comps, and had a great time. Uh, Got to go to USAC. I was just a backup, but I was there as a coach. Got to see the whole thing, and really, that's a pretty good standard for like competitive team sniper
Yeah.
shooting. It was sick. It was super elaborate. Um, Countries from all over sent their people. Got to see all kinds of teams from the U.S. and also learn like what they're doing and how things in warfare have changed and technology and everything. Get to see what everybody else is doing. It was a sweet time. Anyway, uh, and so now I've got out of the Army and I moved to Missouri, and I'm a part owner in Intrepid Defense, which is in central Missouri, about an hour and a half southwest of St. Louis. And we train civilians, law enforcement, and military units.
Hmm.
And we also host some competitions, anything from USPSA, PCSL, our own outlaw series of two gun and precision series, PRS. I'm trying to get NRL Hunter in there, so all kinds of stuff that we host there, and it's been a good time. It's been
Okay. So have you guys started doing a lot of the long range stuff out there? I know earlier this summer you guys were talking about it, but I haven't really. I know you guys are already doing a ton of competitions and stuff out there, but what's the long range stuff at right now?
yeah. So yeah, I've been working with some police departments and SWAT units. I've been
Nice.
out there training with those guys. That's been awesome. I didn't have a disrespect by any means, but I totally have a different respect for some of the law enforcement guys around here. Their job is tough, and I don't know if I want to do it,
Yeah.
but I don't envy them. And unfortunately, they don't get like tons of training, especially if you get out in some of the more rural areas.
Yeah.
And taxpayer dollars got, not wasted on me, but uh, thrown at me. So hopefully, I can spread some knowledge as well.
Yeah.
Uh, but uh, yeah, I'm sorry. Going back to what you said, we're doing competitions out there, and then it's mostly just been law enforcement. Our long range was one of the like last things to get done. We put a lot of emphasis on the pistol carbine side of the house,
Mhm.
and then we had a ton of acreage, and we needed to have long range stuff. So it we had typical setbacks like budget stuff or weather or whatever. So it's coming around, but it's taking some time.
Nice.
And yeah, right now we don't have any like raw long distance, not
Yeah.
like out, not like what Doug wants to go shoot at
Yeah.
Blue
Yeah.
Mountain. But and everybody, the second thing they ask when they hear about the long range is, well, how far can you shoot?
Yeah.
And uh, we just don't have like raw long distance. But I try to mitigate that by small targets
Yeah.
from improvised positions, and that's my favorite kind of shooting anyway.
Yeah.
So if you can shoot one way targets out to 700 and 800, then that's a good day for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. That was one of the first things when I first bought steel out here before I was doing a ton of stuff up at Doug's place up at Day Mountain Ranch. Uh, I was like, man, I mean, max I can reach, and I really gotta like use max range on the property is like 800 yards, which is pretty
Yeah.
good. But like if I want to be comfortable, really I'm only getting like 600, maybe
Mhm.
650. And so that was the first thing I did was like I'm just gonna buy quarter size IPSC targets because they're
Yeah.
way harder to hit and I'm getting the same value out of it as if I
Heck
was
yeah.
at, 1,000 using a full size IPSC. So I
Absolutely.
actually think in some cases it's harder, dude. Like 800 hitting a quarter size IPSC is not easy, dude. It's not
No,
freaking easy. So
not at all. And people, for whatever reason, that's not as like illustrious to people. They want to hear like, oh, I shot 3/4 mile or whatever.
yeah.
And it's fun. I've done it. It's sick. I mean, I it's not my thing. Like ELR is not my
Yeah.
discipline, but I can respect it. But also where we're coming from, now I never got to do any real hostage rescue, so I can't say anything with that. But we did train it quite a bit,
Yeah.
and um, if my intention is to shoot within a friendly, within a close distance, it's going to be a tight target, and it's probably not going to be like in the best conditions, like prone or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So training that is valuable to me because it means something rather than just like I hit a target at a mile.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah,
but
no, I feel the same way, man. Because to me, the true like enjoyment with distance shooting was always all like shooting weird positions, like building and taking down your position and how fast you can do that, and what can I do to make my position more stable. And
mm,
from this position, was I able to see my impact? Was I able to see my splash? And
yeah,
like that, and then how fast you can do that. Like build five positions, go from each one shooting the same target at the same distance, but what changed between all the positions and what can I learn from it? Like you get way more out
yep,
of that than just shooting 5 rounds at the same target at a mile and, praying that your
yeah.
hold as you change it hits the target and then being all happy that you did it at the end.
And then you go shoot something like uh Chaos Concepts where you're out in Alabama and you're like, oh, it's gonna be flat. It's Alabama,
Yeah.
and instead it's like all hills and just slick clay, and you got a 4 mile run, and so now you're gassed and you try to get to a position
Yeah.
on a timer, and it's some weird position trying to shoot some tight target, and all of a sudden, the game changes. Uh, so yeah, it's not all
So
about.
so that being said, they're talking kind of sniper stuff and comps and gear. Right now, what's like the current setup you're running for just like your rifle, like scope, gun, bipod, like everything?
Okay. So I got a Seekins Hit Pro M3.
Hmm.
Uh, I love it, and I I think it's like one of the best guns out there, especially for the money. Uh, I'm running their stock barrel. I got a Kigium R30K suppressor. Running the Area 419 cantilever mount, which is sick. I don't know if you mess with it, but
Mm-mm.
there's it's so stable. Like even mounting stuff, there's no way that anything can wiggle, and you can torque it down. It's just solid.
I don't.
And
Interesting. I'll have to go look. I don't even think I've looked at any of their mounts.
dude, they're sick. I won one at one of the comps a couple months ago, and
Yeah.
at first I was like, nah, whatever. Like, but I put it on. I was like, dude, this is considerably different from the other
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
Uh, Vortex Razor 636, and Vortex Impact 4000 on top.
Yeah.
Uh, Running the NBT double pull bipods and RS double pull tripod.
Okay. So what when you were basically building this thing out, like what trade-offs did you consider when you were choosing, maybe caliber or barrel or just the items you were thinking about? Like what are things you're willing to give up for maybe other things?
Well, like I said earlier, I'm game with throwing more weight on, especially if
Yeah.
I know I can manage recoil and I maybe my spotter can't, or maybe my shooting partner can't see where I'm shooting or wasn't able to spot for me. So it's on me to be able to watch my trace. So I'll carry a heavier gun. I actually look for. I haven't added any like weights, but I am not like worried about dropping weight on my gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Got to have a weapons mounted laser rangefinder. I think that you're putting yourself in a handicap if you don't use one. Um, I always like shooting suppressed because usually I'm with a partner and it's annoying to try to talk over some break.
Yeah.
Um, Especially when communication's key. Like I'd rather be able to shoot with a can. I shoot a 6.5. I didn't mention that earlier, but
Mhm.
I've been shooting a lot of 6.5 lately, mostly because I'm usually shooting mill style stuff. Like I can't go shoot a 6 GT or something. I'd like to,
Yeah.
but so shooting 6.5. I like it a lot. I've been shooting Eagle Eye. Justin from Eagle Eye has been very nice. He's sent us some ammo, so
Nice.
that stuff's awesome and it flies great. So
Yeah, there's a
um,
lot of guys using that Connect comps. A lot of these were using Eagle Eye, which other than the one round we shot at the end without ear pro on,
yeah, yeah,
that's all I've shot.
yeah. Um, he's been awesome. He's been supporting like a bunch of teams. I don't know how he makes money like that, but hey, I'm game for it.
Yeah, it'll come
Uh,
eventually.
Huge consideration. Something I was just talking about with some of the SWAT guys I worked with last week. Um, Tripod is like I am not leaving without it. So,
Mm,
and I used some of theirs, and that it wasn't as good, and so I had a new appreciation for some of my gear.
yeah.
Um, so that like having a good tripod that's solid is is like paramount.
So are you
So
running an RRS?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Um, RS, it's a double pull 24 or something. I don't remember the length, but yeah, double pull. I'm a taller guy. I wish I actually had one with a little bit more length on it for
Yeah.
rear tripod, because
Oh
if I
yeah.
go rear, my shoulder's like getting into the
Oh,
ball area.
interesting.
I'm going standard rear supported tripod.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm fine. But yeah, huge piece of kit for me. I don't want to shoot without it.
So that on that topic, like what are maybe some other smaller items that you think are often overlooked? And this can be with long gun shooting in general, or like the a competitive approach, or even like a military approach. Like, what would you say is something that like, oh, after my first competition, like that was a must have?
Good bipods, um, for sure. Like I said, that Seekins is not an expensive gun. And
Yeah.
honestly, and if somehow Maddie Nelson hears this, I'm not trashing the gun by any means because I love it and I will tell everyone I know that that gun shoots
Yeah.
tight as heck. But people kind of look down at you when you go to these comps. You're like, that's only a $2,400 gun. I have a AI,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
so you kind of get looked at funny for it. But even if you, I'm not saying it's a cheap gun, but even if you have not the best gun, some of those parts like having good bipods, having weapons mounted laser rangefinder, having, I don't care how you get your dope, but I hope you have it for whatever you're doing. And
Hmm.
I use a Kestrel, but I've also used like free apps on my phone. I've
Yeah.
used geoballistics, like uh, just find some way to get dope. Like that's you have to have that. It's not like what
Yeah.
some people think is some of the priorities. Um, Good tripod. I mean, honestly, you can get away with a lot if you have that
Yeah.
stuff.
It's funny you say the bipod was the first thing you said because my first NRL Hunter one, like long story short, I was planning on using my 6.5 PRC. The gun ended up weighing too much. And the night before, I had to go out and take my like 16-inch AR and
Yeah,
basically like get all my dope built out, zero it for the ammo I was going to be using, like all the crap. And I showed up with like a 16-inch AR. And at first they were like, oh no, you'll be fine. Like the farthest we're shooting is like 600. And then like 4 stages in, it's been like 800 and out. I like am not doing anything. Uh,
yeah,
and these were small, like animal sized targets. Like these weren't even IPSC target. Like I was drowning the entire time. But the first thing that when I got off is I was like, I should have brought my freaking MDT, even the single pull. Like all I had on my gun was the Harris 9 to 12 inch. And
yeah,
there was like two or three positions where I was forced to shoot from like, and I guess it's not bad, but like a seated tripod position when I could have just gone prone if I
yep,
had like even just a single pull. And so that's
yep.
when we went to the kinetic comps, I was like, hey dude, to my partner, I was like, hey man, I've shot up here before. Like triple pull might be overkill, but we're gonna want some bipod. Like we're gonna want the option to have some bipod.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about because I want to start shooting NRL Hunter, and I would use those freaking sky pods, and they're probably too heavy. And
Yeah.
a buddy of mine who was shooting in at BFR with me, not with me, but he was there also. He was using those. They're not tricers, but one of the long Johnnies that are uh carbon fiber. I don't know what they're
Is it
called.
Hatch Out West?
Maybe so. It looked
So
like they had like one pole,
yeah.
but like with it compressed all the way, it was like I don't know, 12 or 14 inches or something.
So check out Hatch Out West. They're local here in Preston. I don't know why we didn't
Okay.
reach out to them. They make carbon fiber, triple pull, double pull, single pull bipods. And that's
Okay.
what this kid that I was telling you about uses. And yeah,
Mm,
they're way lighter. I think at the end you like pinch something and then you can pull out. And then to put them in, it's the same
okay.
thing. You pinch and you just push them all in. And I've never shot with them, but I mean that's what this kid uses and he freaking loves them. So and they're way lighter
I'd like to
than
try them out.
so yeah, check
Yeah.
check them out. Hatch Out West. I don't have any relationship with them. Never talked to
Yeah.
them, but I know that they're here in town, and only
Maybe
heard.
you should.
Yeah, I should. I 100%
Yeah.
should. Um,
Uh,
you mentioned like dope and having dope ready to go.
mhm.
Like some people have it. Everyone has a different process for getting their dope.
Oh
You
yeah.
said using geoballistics, Kestrel, obviously like chronograph. Like, what's your like step by step? You got a new gun, or you're using a new grain. Like, what are you doing to go and build out your dope card?
Uh, I chrono almost every time I go shoot. So if I switch lots or if I switch to totally different ammo, I want to go get like good data on it. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna shoot a bunch, get some really consistent velocities and or at least measurements on velocities, and um, then I'm plugging it in the Kestrel. And honestly, I'm probably not the best person to ask about that because I break everything I have, and I also just like get stuff dirty or something. So some people have like beautiful looking printed out Excel sheets, and they have them on their arm board or whatever. I know I'm probably gonna sweat through it or like get it dirty or something. So I do tearaway painter's tape. And so I'll put like 10 layers of painter's tape on my arm board and I'll write out my dope the night before. Like at least it's somewhat close enough to DA
Yeah.
and 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 write it on painter's tape and then rip it off and do it again the next day. I'm not like the neatest to do with it, but it always works. So
Dude, I actually thought when I saw you doing that, I thought it was freaking genius, dude, but for a different reason. So one of the things I realized with the NRL Hunter stuff, because it was different than what we were doing out there, but you walk up to your stage and they give you the brief. And once they
yeah,
give you the brief, if I remember correctly, like they don't tell you anything afterward. Like you're not allowed to be like, hey, what was the other target? How many targets
yeah,
do they have? Like It's just that's it. They don't say
Yeah.
anything to you. And so usually you're writing all the information down and then you
Yeah.
glass, you get all the distances on your targets and then you go and engage. That's usually like the way people do it. And in
Yeah.
my head, I had an issue where I brought this board out and none of the stuff was erasing on it. Like even with an alcohol
Yeah.
wipe, I couldn't get it off. And that was on my
Yeah.
first stage. I was like, well, I'm screwed. And I was like, those motorcyclists, they like freaking rip away on their
Airways.
helmet and
Yeah.
it's clear again. I was like, you
Yeah.
need something like that for comp shooting where I can just rip away a sleeve after that
Yeah.
that section and now I have a completely blank, maybe my dope's on something else, but all the information I'm writing down, I just have a new one. It's really easy to do.
So I actually I do that on the inside. So I'll leave my data on the outside, and then I'll rip open the inside so I can take notes on it, and then
Yeah.
I have the tearaways if I just need to erase it or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, if not, I'll just like start writing all over my arm, like because I have goldfish brain, and if
Yeah.
I hear something, I need to write it down.
And then when you sweat, you just wipe it off
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you got a clean
That's it.
slate again. Okay. Nice. Nice.
Perfect.
Cool, dude. Um, so do you have any comps coming up that you're competing at?
I really wanted to do the kinetic comps up in Minnesota. Wasn't able to make it happen because of some work stuff here,
Mhm.
but I will be at Steel City Precision. They have their two-man team match coming up in the end of November.
Okay,
So
cool.
like the 22nd, 23rd. And
So
then that's
you
all
go
I got
ahead.
this year.
Yeah, go ahead. That's all you got I mean, yeah, we got 2 months left, so
Yeah.
makes so what as you like sign up for a comp and you're starting to prepare for it, what's your like weekly, monthly, daily training looking like specifically for like a team sniper comp? Like are you focusing on anything like specifically, or is it just like I want to go out and get behind my gun and shoot?
I noticed when we were in Idaho, me and my shooting partner Jeff, we've shot a ton together. Like me and him just work well. Like we communicate well. I kind of know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
We just shoot well together. Well, we showed up to Idaho and we did not get any time together because he was in like Germany or something, I can't remember, and I was somewhere else, and we didn't get any prep time. We showed up there, um, and I realized that I had not prepared well for that, and so me just setting up positions was kind of sloppy, or like everything just felt like there was like a little rust on it. You got to
Mhm.
knock the rust off. And I think just touching your gun, you don't even have to go shoot. And this was totally on me, but you can run dry fire drills in your garage on a long gun. That sounds boring as heck, but it is super, super beneficial. And also, if you're putting yourself on a par timer, on a shot timer, I can sit in my garage and set up on tripod or set up on my workout bench or something like as a weird position and just like getting into the motions and getting set and being stable. I don't even have to really pull the trigger because I know that like most of the time it's going to be good. As long as my data is good, I'll probably shoot all right.
Yeah.
Um, but getting like all the muscle memory stuff clean and refined. And then in my case, me and Jeff are usually not together like day to day in the last 6 months or so. So it sounds corny as hell, but if you could do talk on somehow like over the phone or just sitting there trying to get like, hey, I know what you're talking about, and you start to get in the groove of smooth communication. That is huge for those team matches.
Yeah.
And then all that other stuff is just kind of, should be background autopilot stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
In my
Yeah.
mind, that's the thing. Every time we AAR something, it's like, man, I just, haven't gotten that kind of. I haven't tried to shoot rear tripod or something. I haven't tried to shoot seated in a long time. I haven't touched in a while. I felt rusty. Or another AR is like, hey, our communication is crap right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and really, it's just spending more time with each other, like trying to talk each other onto something. It's not,
So when
but
when you say like all the other stuff's happening in the background, like you're talking like checking your checking your bubble, checking your parallax, like
yeah,
trigger squeeze, your breath, like all that stuff's what's happening in the background.
yeah. You hope that your fundamentals are good enough, or that like that you're familiar enough with that, with your gun and that setup and stuff, that you can kind of just crank shots on autopilot. And
Mhm.
then the hard stuff is for me is observation and communication.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm like a stellar shot, but I've got enough reps that like I hope that that can kind of go on in the background.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wish I could say I was at that same point right now, but I've done so little long gun shooting this year that when I get behind my gun, I almost have to like force myself to remember the fundamentals. Like, dude, you have to check your freaking level before you shoot the gun, you know? And
Yeah,
like, usually if I'm going to a competition or I've got a course coming up, like, I'll spend the next 3 weeks, like, making sure that I'm like dialed in and everything's back to where I want it to be. But like, dude, it's totally a perishable skill. Like,
absolutely.
I went shooting yesterday and I literally haven't shot my long gun, since kinetic comps. And it was, like I went up there and I was like, whoa, this feels real. And luckily I was hammering, dude. It was one of those
Yeah,
ones where like I haven't practiced it forever, but everything felt really good. You know, whereas
yeah.
sometimes you go and you've been practicing every day and you go to the range and you can't hit anything and you just go home with like your tail tucked between your legs.
Oh
But
yeah, I've been there.
yeah, dude, it's like for me when I finished kinetic comps, I was like, I felt super like we practiced so much building positions and talk-ons
Yep.
because my partner was like brand new to all of that. Not brand new. I mean,
Mhm.
he a pretty avid hunter and did a lot of rifle hunts. But I feel like I should have focused more on just, hey, let's just be a good shooter, and then we'll spend the other 50% of the time like building positions, you know? But
Yeah,
yeah, I walked away saying fundamentally I need to be better. Positionally, I felt pretty good.
that's
So
awesome.
it's like opposite of you.
I definitely could. I mean, the best answer is just do it all. It's just
Yeah.
sometimes you
Yeah.
can't, or insert whatever excuse. I'm sure I got plenty of them, but you know,
So
uh,
when you're training, what's like one drill you do with your when you're at the range that you feel like is the most bang for your buck in terms of long gun shooting?
uh, dude, I love pulling the trigger, and so if I could just slow down enough, or if I was at some kind of like round cap, like I couldn't just shoot as much as I wanted to. Like everybody loves pulling the trigger. That's the best. That's the most part of
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
if I could, uh, dude, as far as fundamental shooting, I don't know. I think I like just being. I mean, I guess it's not like a fancy answer, but I just want to make a shot from every position that I can put myself into and be able to not get bucked out, watch my impact, and if it's a hit or a miss, either way, see where that impact is, make a correction if I have to. And in my mind, that's the most benefit because if I at least can see where I'm hitting, then I can fix the problem.
Yeah.
Uh, then so like just practicing the fundamental of being able to be your own spotter, I think is the most important thing. That's not a great answer because it's like, well, that could be anything, or it's not a super sexy answer. But honestly, I think that's huge. Like, if I don't know where I'm hitting, or I have to wait on somebody to spot
Yeah.
for me, or maybe I don't have somebody at all, then how are you supposed to do anything?
Yeah. Okay. So basically just as many positions as possible, making sure you're able to see your impacts and like making
Even
the
if it
right
was
shot with it.
even even if it was just running a hundred yard or 100 meter dot drill,
Hmm.
like just pounding out a dot like a one MOA dot and just making sure that you know where those shots are going. Like you can call your shots if your eyes, not if your eyes are closed, but you can call your shots or you stretch out and you call your own impacts. I mean, yeah. Sorry, that's not like a great
No,
answer,
no,
but
I think that's super helpful. Do you do any dry fire when you're at the range, like in between rounds? Like if you're doing positional stuff, are you taking any time? Like do you feel like there's benefit in that?
um, no, I'd rather save that for home. But well, no, not really. I will.
Babe, be honest, man.
It just depends on how much time I got, I guess.
Yeah.
I probably lean on not doing it. However, I will if I'm shooting my mag, and people will be like, "Oh, he's just like he just wasn't paying attention, or he thought he loaded one." If I know I didn't load around, I'll still send that last like shot as a dry fire just to get an extra rep. Like if
Yeah.
I'm there, I will do that every time, but I won't sit there and be like, "Okay, I got a dry fire, and okay, now I can go
Yeah.
live."
Okay.
No.
Yeah, makes sense. So when you're at home doing your dry fire, then uh I see people do like the ladder thing where they go and set up a ladder and they just work
Hmm.
the different positions of the ladder. Is there anything that you feel
Yeah.
like you do unique other than kind of like the basic stuff you see online or something that you're like, wow, I actually feel like I get a lot of value out of this? You mentioned a timer too, which I think is huge, but
Yeah. One of my instructors, Kevin, he's best dude ever. Um, he sat there and I remember I was like, dude, this guy's a maniac. And uh, they call him weaponized autism. But he was sitting there telling us that we need to be sitting on a part timer and deploying a tripod.
mm,
So that's it. He said,
yeah,
get it down as fast as you can. And he would sit there and just like crank out these tripod deployment reps. And I was like, that's nuts. But he's a freaking killer at it. So
yeah, yeah,
um, you can put yourself on a part timer and break down pretty much everything. I took that from all the flat range stuff. I don't see a whole lot of people doing that, but you can put yourself on a part timer and say, okay, I'm going to deploy everything out of my bag that I need to like set up for this insert whatever kind of
yeah,
shot, like a full setup for it. Or you can just sit there and break it down into I'm just going to deploy my tripod, or I'm just going to get my gun and mount it on my tripod.
yeah,
That's probably a little bit too much, but you can break down all that and eventually the picture comes together smoother. So you can sit there and rep that out. I like setting up on rear tripod. I'll set up in weird positions for that, but because I know that it's killer when it works. Um, but sometimes I'm not like the best at it.
yeah.
But so I know that that's something I kind of struggle with. So I want to set up on rear tripod, make sure I can stay steady and like hold, everybody's going to wobble a little bit, but hold like point 0.2 or point 0.4 wobble or something.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, what would you say, I guess for guys who are trying to get into long gun shooting or team sniper matches, maybe those are two separate topics, but what would you say is like the number one mistake you see guys making, whether that's in shooting or maybe just as they approach it and are like, oh, I have to get this piece of gear, else I can't compete, or just like what's the number one thing you see that is a mistake guys make?
Dude, gear makes a huge difference. Like if you have good gear, it can't do anything but help. But I think the biggest thing is people not taking every chance that they can to gather data when you can,
Mhm.
or switching up ammo, or like not really thinking about how that makes a difference. I've seen some guys at the beginning, they're like, whatever, it's a 308, like whatever, I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
And um, so building good data anytime you can, uh, and doing the sometimes boring stuff every time you can. So if I show up to the range, I'm going to chrono every time. I'm probably going to check torque every time, which is, kind of silly sometimes, but, uh, and I'm going to do like a 100-yard dot drill.
Yeah.
Um, those are not like super sexy things, but you can get a lot out of it. And if you build that data or you stay consistent with your ammo, you can go shoot like a $500 axe or Savage or something like, and you can do all right if you know where that's going to be. And if
Yeah.
that's only staying consistent with stuff.
Okay. You keep mentioning that like this 100-yard dot drill. Like
Yeah.
describe that for the guys who might not know what that is.
So Shannon K from K&M in Finger, Tennessee, he was like always harping about dot drill, and he was right. It works. So you put a target at 100, and I put a 1-inch pasty, and you're just going to sit there and get good, like consistent reps, like be super intentional every time. And you can break it down like, okay, this first dot or this first pasty, I'm going to lay in the prone, unbroken, and shoot 10 rounds at this pasty. I'm going to not break my grip and just hammer out 10 rounds. Then the next one, okay, you're going to you're going to shoot another pasty, but in between each shot, you're going to break your position. You're going to stand up. You're going to shake it out, and you're
Mhm.
going to have to build that position again. So that's like muscle memory stuff. And then you can say, okay, this time I'm going to go on this barrier, and I'm going to shoot off a bag, and I'm going to do those pastes. And then you're working positional with it,
Mm,
and you can break it down into whatever reps you want with it. But at least it's just saying that fundamentally, I know it's a small target. I can measure like how much I'm off, or if I can build a trend on, hey, I'm coming off left, or you can get a lot of data from it. You can
Yeah.
also see if like, hey, maybe I need a chrono because like I'm off, my elevation's off. So
Yeah.
you can gather stuff from it, but mostly it's about fundamentals.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that these simple drills like that are easy to set up. You don't need a ton of range. Like you can get
Mhm.
tons of value out of, dude. The dry fire, the dot drills, like the stuff that isn't sexy at all.
Yeah.
If you can get those fundamentals down, you'll be hammering stuff out past, 500 or whatever your distances you're trying to like hit.
Yeah.
Like that stuff's
There's
huge.
another there's another like training tool for observation with a partner. And someone told me about it and I thought it was the most genius thing I'd ever heard. Uh, but you're gonna get funny looks. You can take a Where's Waldo book and put it at like 50. And so you and your partner both have to be on glass and try to talk somebody on to an object on that page. Uh,
Oh.
it's just observation reps, and it's like you feel corny as heck when you're
But
setting
you've
it up.
done it.
Yeah, but you can,
That I've never heard of that, dude, but that actually would be so hard.
yeah, it's tough. Um, that one's a good one, but no one wants to set that one up.
I like that. So what just kind of in closing here, what are kind of the future plans for yourself for, Intrepid Defense, what you guys have coming up this upcoming year? If you want to just take some time and talk about what you guys have going on, just so anyone who's, in that Midwest Missouri area, you guys are in Bland, Missouri, right?
Yep.
Like if they want to come in and be a part of it, what do they got to do?
For any kind of courses or membership stuff, just go to our website. It's intrepiddefenseusa.com. And but be on the lookout in 2026. We have our own. So Alex Jones, he was on your previous podcast. He is running the Rage Two Guns Outlaw series, and there's some pretty sick sponsors for that.
Yeah.
It's a 5-part series. Uh, it's going to end, I think, in November. Starts in February, and then I'm doing an Outlaw Precision series called Heartland Havoc, and same thing. You're going to do some running and gunning, a little bit of physical tasks while shooting, and then hopefully have some pretty sick sponsors for that as well. So check out those in 2026. Um, Other than that, we're just going to be running courses and running some other comps. We also host all kinds of pistol and carbine comps too. So
Yeah.
hopefully just do a bunch of shooting. I really enjoyed the teaching part lately. I was a little worried about it, but I really enjoyed that. And yeah, just teaching and shooting.
Nice. Cool, man. And do you guys have just like open bays people can use, or do you guys not do that?
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you're a member, you can
There's
show up and run some drills in a pistol bay or
Yes. There are open range days just because
okay.
like we're still in infancy stages. We don't have somebody working there every day. Most
Yeah.
of the time it's either Alex or myself. And so it's like designated open range days, but yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool. Well, hey, dude, I appreciate you coming on and kind of talking over some sniper, long precision shooting stuff, some comp stuff. And I hope some guys got some value out of it. I know if I was starting off, I would have gotten a lot of good information from this. I think people approach it and they do too much to start out. Like you don't need a
Yeah.
lot. A lot helps, but you don't need a lot. You can
Yeah.
be doing drills in your house and go into the range, not that often and
Yeah.
shooting at 100 yards and be able to get like a lot of value out of it. So yeah, dude, hey, I
Absolutely.
appreciate it. And
Hey man.
I'm definitely planning on coming out in 2026 at least a
Yeah.
couple times. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
If
please.
YouTube keeps going well, then maybe more than a couple times, but at least one or two times I'll make it out there and come shoot some of this stuff and just hang out with you guys because I think it'd be a
Oh yeah.
blast.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We'd love to have you.
All right, cool,
Yeah.
man. Well, I
Sweet
appreciate it,
man.
and I'll talk to you later.
All right. See ya.
All right, see ya.